Good evening, everybody. We're back with the weekly watch list. So, this is an interesting week. I'm gonna start sharing my screen right now. But this week we've got a couple interesting earnings plays. We have got CPI on Tuesday, I believe. Yeah, CPI on Tuesday. We've got some big swings we're looking at, and it's gonna be a fun week, I tell you that much. So you should be able to see my screen right now. And yeah, tomorrow after hours, we've got Oklo, ASTS, and ACHR all reporting earnings. And then, special mention to Plug and AMC as well. It's going to be interesting, right? Oklo, I feel like that's going to be bullish. And if it's not bullish, if it drops off the market, then I'm definitely going to be looking at calls during the rest of the week. Then ASTS, similar story in a big way. ASTS has been on my radar as well as Rocket Lab, RKLB. I'm not yet taking a position in any of them, but I am interested to see, what happens this week with ASTS, especially with the earnings. Moving on to Tuesday, another big day, because guess what? We've got Circle and CoreWeave. So Circle and CoreWeave both famously made us a lot of money back in June and July. Both of them we did over 1,000% on swing trades, and both of them IPO'd recently. So the money is there. I'll be honest, the money is there. We'll just see how we handle it. And then you've got RGTI Tuesday after hours as well as Carver as well. So those might get interesting. We'll definitely keep those on watch in the Discord. And then the rest of the week, it kind of winds down a little bit. I'll definitely say I'm looking at AMAT Thursday after close. And that's pretty much it, to be honest. The rest are not really interesting me like that. So yeah, that's the main earnings plays I'm watching. It's really Monday, Tuesday, and then, the rest of the week it kind of dies down. But we're still in earnings season. We've still got some earnings plays. As you guys saw the last few weeks, Palantir jumped up, TTD dropped down, AMD tanked, Reddit jumped up. It's a lot of plays. It's a lot of opportunities. It's a lot of money making chances in this market. So moving on, let's talk about CPI, right? CPI is Tuesday after, I think 1 p.m. or 2, is it 1 p.m. or 2 p.m.? I think somewhere around there. Either way, CPI comes out. Oh, and also beware, because Trump is looking to maybe make this guy the new head of the Federal Reserve. So this might be, potentially could be the new head going forward. We'll see. His name is Stephen Miron. But yeah, CPI comes out Tuesday. So we'll get an idea on the inflation report. We'll get an idea on, what way the economy is moving, food, energy, all that kind of stuff. It's one of those things you're just going to have to wait for it. I don't really know, how the expectations will dictate what the market does. I don't really know, how strong these expectations fall in line with the actual things that are going to be reported, the actual numbers that are going to be reported on Tuesday. So it's just one of those things to just be aware of and just watch out for. And Bitcoin, we'll talk about Bitcoin and Ethereum in a little bit as well. Bitcoin almost at 120K again. So yeah, that's the main things. That's the main things right now. Let's jump into the charts. This is the fun part, right? So I have Amazon weekly up here. That's not what I'm actually going to start with, though. I'm going to start with the trade desk, of course, TTD. So there's a lot to discuss with this one, a lot to break down with this one. Everyone can see the weekly candle. Everyone knows what's happened with the earnings last week. It's not a secret. It's not a surprise when you see this weekly candle, right? Clearly bearish. The fact that it dropped from $90 all the way down to 54 is insane. But this is what happened pretty much, right? So they reported earnings. I'm going to go back to Yahoo Finance, actually. TTD reported earnings, okay? Their CEO, Jeff Green, came out and pretty much, gave a reasoning behind, what's been, why they've struggled recently, okay? So the earnings themselves actually weren't that bad, right? Their net margin decreased, yes. Growth has slowed down, especially because this was a really, strong growing company for a while. Those things did happen. But the main things here is, well, they got a new CFO stepping in August 21st. They didn't really communicate that to their shareholders. The current well, let's call him the current CFO, is leaving after more than like 10 years. I think he was even there before the IPO, before TTD IPO'd. So he's been there a while, right? Him leaving is a huge negative on the company, right? In addition to that, they got a double downgrade for Bank of America. I think Bank of America's price target for TTD was $130. They dropped that to 55. That's a huge downgrade. Huge downgrade, right? But funny enough, if you could look at this chart on TrendSpider again, earlier at the beginning of this year, they had a similar move, right? Now, this is the part where it gets scary because I know a lot of us are in TTD calls and there might even be some TTD shareholders. When it dropped off in January from 125 all the way down to 75, you guys see what happened the next few weeks? It continued dropping, right? All the way to 47 before it bottomed out and started recovering. So it could potentially drop further this week. That is a potential possibility. But the overall, let's call it the overall outlook on this right now for me is if we're down 25% within the next few days on our calls, which are expiring in September, we cut the play and we wait for the we wait for the support, consolidation, whatever you want to call it, after the drop. We took a risk, let's say we took a risk, but we took a very limited risk because we have a month till expiry. But I just wanted to highlight, back here, back in February, it dropped all the way down and it continued dropping for the next few weeks. That could happen, that could happen again for the next few weeks. It is a possibility. So just beware of that, right? They came out and they announced that, some of their customers have struggled because of tariffs, so they're facing pressure because of the tariffs. They came out and said as well that their competitors, so for example Amazon, it's tough to really pretty much compete with them, and shareholders don't want to hear that. Wall Street doesn't want to hear that. So again, if your largest customers, that are using your services are facing pressure from tariffs, that's not a good thing. If your growth rates are slowing down, that's not a good thing. If your CFO steps down, just like that, again, negative news. Your competitors are very strong, negative news. But just beware because same way they've had so much negative news and we've seen an overreaction. Like again, their earnings wasn't not that bad. We've had an overreaction. It could get worse. We could fall down to $44. It could get worse. But also remember that when we eventually did fall down to 44, 43 back in March, April, we recovered almost. Yeah, we almost got that, that double up, right? We went from 44, 43, 44 to almost 90. So we pretty much got a 100% increase within 4 months? Yeah, 4 months, okay? So the same could also happen this time. I know a lot of people are banking on it hitting $80 before September 5th. Realistically, that's very unlikely, but it is a possibility within the next couple of months, okay? And then last but not least, we all know that, you should know by now because it's been in the Discord about 20 times. Kathy Woods, trimmed a little bit of her Palantir and Palantir and Robinhood positions, and she bought a huge dip on TTD. So remember, with BMNR, she also bought a huge dip on this. This was the dip. She bought that probably around $35. I'm not completely sure, but she bought the dip on BMNR. And now she's up, right? Because it's back up at $52. So Cavi Woods is one of us right now. She's obviously doing shares, as far as I'm aware, not necessarily options, but that's a positive sign. Either way, the most important thing is we manage our risk. I don't want anybody jumping in TTD tomorrow at open and thinking, you're going to make a ton of money. Not necessarily, right? It depends on your expiry. It depends how long you hold. It depends how you manage your position. So again, just beware. If I had a price target for TTD, realistically by September 5th, I want to see it back up $65 to $70. $65 to $70 right here before the swing lows back from June. But if I look at the daily chart, right now, we're obviously overextended, right? We're way oversold. But we need it to bounce here. We need it to bounce anywhere between $54, $53 and start uptrending, right? It doesn't have to get all the way back up to $85 next week, but it does have to show some kind of strength going into this week. We do want to see that. Okay, so for everyone that's in TTD right now, we're down I think 11 or 12%. That's okay. That's not bad. It's been one day. or not even 1 day yet, and it's a stock which has 4 weeks on it till it expires. So yeah, I think they really destroyed the stock, especially because guidance for the next quarter wasn't as strong as expected as well. But yeah, I mean, think about it. That they still had a good, like a decent earnings, right? I believe the revenue grew by like 19-20%, which is not even bad, but it's just slow in comparison to what last quarter, previous years, that kind of stuff. So we'll see. Maybe they come out this week and maybe Jeff Green gives us some good news. Who knows? We'll just wait and we'll see what happens. But if you're down 25-30% tomorrow, feel free to cut. But I'm really expecting it to be back up at $65 to $70 by September if it does start the uptrend. Next up, we're going to go with another stock that tanked after earnings, AMD. Okay. So I'm going to show you the AMD weekly chart because AMD ran up for several weeks and it got that pullback last week after earnings and jumped back up. AMD is a strong stock, right? If I asked anybody on this Zoom call what my stocks are, like my top 3 stocks, I think most of you, 99% of you are putting AMD in there, right? I would definitely, in fact, that's a good one. Let me go in the chat. Put your top 3 stocks that you think that I have on my radar watch list, or I would love to see what people think because I'm always getting mixed opinions. People always bring me Nvidia. Yeah, Nvidia is great, but you don't see me rambling on about Nvidia. So I definitely see what you guys are saying. Let me see the chat. What do you guys? Palantir, AMD, yeah, AMD Cake, SoFi, yeah, there you go. Cisco. I've never talked about Cisco. Who's bringing Cisco into the chat? Whenever I talked about Cisco, AMD, Palantir, Snow. That's some good. Yeah, so AMD, Palantir, then it could be those are the top ones. You could say a SoFi or a Cheesecake. Yeah, that's definitely true. Yeah, SoFi. Yeah, Apple. Yeah, good one. Funny. AMD, SoFi, Marvell. Nah, not necessarily Marvell. That's no. We swing trade Marvell with options, but long term, I'm not really Marvell. AMD, UPST, not really. But AMD, yeah. AMD and Palantir are definitely up there. And then probably a SoFi. And then maybe Cake would be 4th place. But either way, let's talk about AMD. CRWV, no. I think people are trolling. So anyway, CRWV. I think people are trolling. Yeah. So AMD, we dropped last week. We bought the dip. Wall Street bought the dip. That was good. But just so you guys know what happened, pretty much. So they missed earnings per share by like 1 cent. No big deal. They beat revenue by like 0.2 billion. Their Q3 guidance was up, I think like 0.2 billion, 0.3 billion. Yeah, I mean, anyone who's bullish on AMD should be happy, right? It sold off heavily, but it got bought back up. So I'm bullish on AMD. I'm happy with how it, recovered. I told you guys last week it was going to die after earnings, and that's what it did. So I wasn't surprised or shocked or in pain or whatever. I mean, I'll be honest. I didn't buy the dip because my average cost is under $100. But realistically, now looking back, I probably should have bought the dip because it's still free money. So yeah, AMD, I'm still bullish on it this week. I want to see it go back up to 175, 180. If it drops any further, I'll just add longer term calls. But I'm still bullish right now. Yeah, I like it. That is pretty simple. Yeah. Now, someone did mention Marvell. Let's talk about Marvell. Marvell is very interesting right now. Okay. So this is the daily chart. Let's start on the weekly chart. Actually, that might help a bit. Oh, this is the what? Okay, this is the weekly chart. There you go. So either way. So weekly moving averages are starting to cross over. And even though you see it now, even though we gapped down, we kind of consolidated at this level. So looking at the daily chart here, right? I'd say it's consolidating, it's forming a base. If we zoom out a little bit, we could even draw, hold on. I still gotta get familiar with this. Let's see how this treats me. Okay. Draw it like this. This is trend spider, guys. This is trend spider. And I'm going to go across. I'm going to go across from here, the top of these, just like that. Okay. I'm going to go like that. Bring it down a little bit. Now I want it to touch that body, this body here. All right. So realistically, Marvell could break out here, right? Back at end of July, it gapped up because there was like I don't know if it was rumors or news that came out regarding Microsoft depending on Marvell's chips. So like I think they were going to use Marvell for the AI chips, and it gapped up. Now after that, it started selling. Well, it gapped down and started consolidating. So let's say we break out from here. I see us going back to $80 pretty quickly. And then honestly, I see us continuing the run back up to 85 and maybe even beyond for the next couple months. Like I said, it's forming a base here. Something seems like it's about to happen. Something seems like it's brewing. And we can start breaking down the smaller time frames, right? 4 hour, we got the moving average, the golden cross. We see after the pullback, the gap down, we've started to recover the loss from the gap down. We started to recover the loss, and we're starting to try and push up again and fill that gap. So I like Marvell where it is right now. I think it's starting to brew. I think a breakout from what I just drew on the daily time frame is going to come soon, and it could be this week, it could be next week, I don't know, but I think a breakout is going to start. Yeah, it's going to start. We'll see. Who knows, right? This coming week, I'd say $80 price target. The month of August, we'll just keep it at $85 price target for now. Who knows? The next couple months, you might see it back up at, where was it? Let's scroll left. Jeez, it was up there. This one's here, 121. Who knows? But just keep that on your radar, Marvell. Keep that on your radar. Okay. Next up, HIMS. So we know that Discord loves this stock. HIMS was very interesting last week because they had earnings. They sold off heavily. But again, if you just zoom out a little bit, go to the weekly chart, it was kind of a healthy full pullback. We consolidated in between the moving averages for about 4 weeks straight. We broke out, pulled back, and I think this is a healthy pullback, right? Now, realistically, if this continues selling off, realistically, it could get ugly for HIMS, right? Because we're below all the moving averages on the daily time frame, and it could get ugly. But I don't think. We'll see how price. We'll see what price does over the next few days. I don't think it's going to drop further. If it does, it could get ugly. $47 to the downside. We can go further. $41. We might even end up at the moving average. Who knows, right? So just beware of HIMS. If you are to take calls or try and take calls, I'd say just wait. There's a $64 price target to the upside that remains all the time. $64 to the upside always remains, right? So just watch out because, if the breakout happens again like it did back here, it's going to be a clean breakout and we're going to eat good. But I would say wait for it to break above maybe $54, $55. And then once I see it pick up momentum, the bulls really step in, then yeah, HIMS could really, make another $10 run. What else? Well, I did mention they had earnings last week. We could briefly check that out. I know the earnings numbers were not actually bad, right? So it's up overnight right now. So for example, revenue came in like 70% or 73% more than it was last year. Net income, EBITDA, number of subscribers, all that kind of stuff was up. Even I think their margins were up as well, the gross margins. The earnings wasn't even that bad, but again, HIMS, is one of those stocks that, they're going to sell it off, they're going to tank it. They've done that plenty of times, and it keeps bouncing back. Almost similar to what AMD has done. SoFi is up next. SoFi. So right now, daily chart is looking good. It's been a little bit choppy here and there after the earnings gap up when we hit $25. It's been a bit choppy, but it's building up again. So if you're not in SoFi yet, you can get September 19th calls. But then remember this, right? Remember this right here. Actually, we'll go all the way to the hourly to start off with this. Hourly, every time it pulls back to the moving average, it holds and moves higher. 4 hour, similar story, right? If it does come down, we don't tank, we don't sell off. You see the long wicks, but the closes are nice. The closes are fine, right? The longer wicks are there, but the closes are good. Daily time frame, similar story, right? There was a doji here back in what, Thursday? Or was that, no, Wednesday? But apart from that, we've seen strong bodily closes. So it's nothing crazy. I think as it's trending above moving averages right now, any pullback to 2180s, maybe 2176, anywhere near that area. Once we do that and we start uptrending again, I might try and take calls again. Friday, we took calls. I can show you exactly why we took calls on Friday and what the play was. So I got the nice cross. Wait, 5 minutes. So August 8th. Hold on. Let's go back here. Here we go. Oh, wait. Further. 8th. All right. So actually we had the cross on Friday. I didn't even realize. The cross actually happened on Thursday, the golden cross. We pushed up at open Friday, pulled back to the moving average, and then obviously it was time to get into calls. We pretty much made, what was it, 154% within, was it 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes? Either way, you see that the 5 minute was clean. 15 minute was also real nice. August 8th. Here we go. 15 minutes also real nice. Where are we? Here we go. 15 minutes also real nice. Huge green candle. Just wiped out both previous red candles and continued higher. Obviously, it got rejected, started selling off, consolidated, popped again, and it kind of just started moving lower for the rest of the day. But it was a strong open from SoFi, strong first couple hours. And yeah, sometimes that's just how you make your money, right? You wait all week for the move, and when the move happens, you take advantage of it. Let's be honest, that might be another, something that happens this week with either, I'd say, Robinhood, Palantir, or SoFi. Them three, I've been able to catch like that pretty consistently over the last couple months. So speaking of hood, let's jump into it. Robinhood, okay? So I'll be honest, Robinhood, the game plan last week was pretty simple. 110 was the price target, but the open, what day? So Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. So the open Monday, I guess we gapped up and sold off. That was really the entry. Now I didn't enter, it's okay. But the next day it gapped up and sold off again. So I said to myself, the next gap up and sell off, I'll enter. Unfortunately, the next gap up, the next gap up, well, there's no point, entering because it just kind of stayed green. And then we ended up at 114. So long story short, I want to see what Robinhood pull back to 110 or maybe even 106 if it goes all the way there, 110 or 106 before I get calls. So price target to the upside right now is a little bit difficult because Robinhood has been on a crazy run since April. It jumped from $40 to $115 now. But I would say if we pull back to 110 or 107, then I will look to get 112 calls and trade this up to 114. So hopefully I'm $2 in the money by Friday. I don't necessarily want to take August 15 calls, but depending on the price point and how much they're going for, let's see what these premiums are like. I might have to just take, same week expiration. We'll see though. The most important thing is managing the trade. Doesn't matter if you take this week, next week, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, managing the trade, right? Last week it gave us pullback entries. This week is probably going to give us pullback entries. And if it doesn't, we don't get in. But we're looking for a pullback to 110 or 106. And then we're looking to, trend back up to probably 114, 115. It's pretty much done the same thing every week. If you look at the weekly chart, you'll just see, here we go. You'll see it's just kind of been steadily climbing on a weekly chart. And yeah, it's looking pretty good. So if it does sell off again, retail is really fueling this one. And yeah, I think Robinhood is another one that looks good to go. Let's talk about Microsoft, right? So Microsoft finally had a red week. It's been, I think it was 10 straight weeks, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11 straight weeks of green, finally pulled back. Now, Microsoft has been strong. Even after that earnings, you see the long wick here, even after the earnings, once it sold off, it kind of recovered pretty quickly. So I'm looking at Microsoft calls, but I'm just going to wait, see how it pans out the first couple of days, especially with CPI. Microsoft's probably going to do what the rest of the market does on Tuesday after CPI. But I'll look at getting calls back up to about, here we go, 537, a $15 move. I can see a $15 move for Microsoft this week. I wouldn't be surprised if it does that. But at the same time, this for me is definitely a swing trade. Whereas, SoFi, maybe Robinhood or Palantir might be day trades. Microsoft is definitely a swing trade for me. Do remember though that these ones cost a little bit more than Microsoft contracts. But again, I think a $15 move, 537 would be the price target. Daily is looking nice, healthy. We got a nice pullback. Weekly was looking strong, healthy pullback. 4 hour kind of moving in and around the moving averages, and then you got the 1 hour, which is starting to build back up after the huge sell off. So yeah, Microsoft 537 price target. We'll see what calls I look to get. And then I just mentioned Palantir. So Palantir is an absolute beast. It's a monster. It is, I'd say, unstoppable, right? Earnings last week, we gapped up. Great for all of us who've been in it. If you guys were in the Discord last year, you were there when we were trading it at, I think it was $16 before that. You know the earnings I'm talking about. That one earnings we all traded Palantir, or a few of us, I'd say. It was a call out either way. And it jumped up to like 24. Since then, it's been on a crazy tear. So I've been more day trading Palantir recently because these opens and more these opens than the closes have been a bit too erratic, crazy, and I'm not even trying to get into Palantir and be down 45% when you wake up. So yeah, look at these kind of sell-offs it has. Again, sell-offs. It has some crazy sell-offs just here and there again, right? So Palantir for me is a day trade. It's probably going to be one of those days where it sells off, and then the next day or the same day, whatever. One of those times it sells off, getting in on then just trading it to the upside when it catches some heat. I don't really think Palantir is going, because a lot of people have been saying, oh, the PE ratio is at 550. It's trading way higher than its price point right now. Sure, but it's going to be at $200 before it's at 150. I'm still bullish on Palantir. I don't know exactly which call I'll get yet because I want it to come down. Last week was a week where we broke out of this, not really consolidation, but we were trading close to moving averages. We broke out. I'd say, just honestly, if it pulls back to 180, 179, that's probably where I start looking to see it consolidate. If it can consolidate, and I'll get in there and trade it higher. Just beware though, because it's way overextended. It's way up there, right? Look at the weekly chart. It is way up there right now. And I know it's continued to defy the odds, but it is way up there. So just beware of Palantir. I'd love to see it hit $200 this August. My price target for August with Palantir was 185. We're already at 187, 5 days in or 6 days into August trading. So I don't really know where we go from here, but I'm happy it keeps moving, and I'm happy we bought shares. Celsius is the next one. I got Celsius and I got BMNR and then Affirm. But Celsius is really interesting. We had a weekly consolidation, broke out, and we started selling off to break out, right? Whenever that happens, it's always interesting because the next candles could be super red and we come back down to 46, which I think we've done in the past with Celsius, or it might decide that this is the new lows. This $51 level is the new consolidation price point or level of support, and it just moves higher. I'm not sure, but I'm going to wait. I'm definitely going to watch it, see how it moves. As you can see in the past, right? When Celsius jumped up to 44, came all the way down to 40 again before jumping up. So that's what I'm saying. Where we are now, right now at 52, I'm like, okay, are we going to sell off, to 48 or to the, previous highs at 48.59, or are we going to find this as a new base and then start building on this? I'm not sure, but either way, Celsius at $50 is pretty impressive, especially because it was at 25, 23 back in February. Remember we were discussing it on a study session back in February. Yeah, 25, 23. So gosh, we'll see. I definitely don't want to miss this if it decides it's going to continue running after a pullback. Celsius could definitely get interesting this week. And then BMNR. So the reason this is on my radar is because realistically, so if Ethereum moves, well, it's already moving. Do they have crypto on here? Should, right? Yeah. So yeah, they have crypto on here. So realistically, Ethereum at 4,275. This is going to be interesting for BMNR, okay? So pretty much, this could pop due to a short squeeze. I think there's about over 300 million in shorts right now, and this could start squeezing up. I mean, it's already moved up $15, but it could continue, especially with Ethereum closing at, what's it going to close at today? Probably 4.2K. So let's check where Ethereum was Friday, 8th. Ethereum's at under 4K. It's already jumped up $300. Yeah, this could, BMNR could be something. Just keep it on your radar. I know a couple people mentioned it. I'd say a $66 price target is realistic for the next couple of weeks. $66 for BMNR. We need to see if it does squeeze. If Ethereum keeps going, Bitcoin keeps going, yeah, this could get busy. This could be one where you throw $100 or one contract at it, and it might flip something dumb. So we'll see. I expect tomorrow to be strong with BMNR. I really do. Let's see if we can see something right now. Overnight hours. Oh, never mind, guys. Fun is really over. It's up 15%. Damn. Okay. Well, kind of burst our bubble. Shoot. Well, I mean, $67 is still the price target. Shoot, damn, they already blew it up. Yeah, well, okay. Well, BMNR was on the radar. It still is on the radar, but I think the move has already happened, unfortunately. And then Affirm, I like the daily pullback. Weekly pullback is an inverted hammer, pretty much. Just watch Affirm back up to $80. If we get anything more than that, that's a bonus. But Affirm back up to $80 might take time. But the reason I say is daily chart is pulled back to the 9-day moving average. Weekly chart you saw was overextended. 4-hour is now hanging on the 21-day moving average in between the moving averages. 1-hour chart is bearish, but it looks like we found a support here. So we'll see. It was a previous bounce level. Okay, so could be another bounce level right here. Definitely intrigued to see what Affirm does. Damn, yeah, BMNR really, wow. Okay. So yeah, Affirm is good. That is my main stocks to watch, I believe. Wait, no. Elf sold off last week. Here we go. The gap down on Elf. We jumped all the way down to $95 before they bought it up again. So this is the price point where I'm like, okay, are they gonna buy it up again? Let me just check the daily, the weekly, all that kind of stuff. Weekly came down to the 200 moving average. Daily's more clean, right? Daily got a nice bounce and started uptrend again, but got wicked rejection at the 200 moving average. So we'll see if we can break above that. I'd honestly say my price target is 115 for Elf. Not this week, but for the next couple of weeks. It might take a few days to get there. But yeah, 115 to the upside for Elf. I don't expect any more downside, honestly. I really don't. 4-hour chart, similar story, right? Got a bounce. Maybe a rejection at the 200 moving average, maybe, but again, bounce is nice. 1 hour. We saw the $7 move to the upside before a gap up, and then we sold off. But again, we're hanging in around moving average. I don't think Wall Street are going to sell this anymore. But it is kind of almost becoming like a meme play now, right? If you kind of look at Elf, we sold off, from the end of last year all the way to April this year. We rallied, and now we sold off, rallied a bit, sold off. So it's almost becoming like a meme play. It's a bit hectic, a bit crazy right now. So yeah, I think Shopify had earnings last week, and they had a great week. Yeah, the daily time frame gapped up, pulled back. I'm going to leave Shopify alone, but I do like how strong it is, weekly time frame. Shopify is a money maker. This is a great stock. This is another, I always say AMD is $1 trillion market cap. Shopify is also $1 trillion market cap potential. Shopify can get busy. Speaking of $1 trillion market cap, Amazon got the inside week. Amazon got a pullback to the moving average as well. Amazon was looking good, but it's just consolidating in between moving averages right now. Price target is still 229, and then eventually you can see maybe that 235 level. Like I said to you guys, after the Amazon sell-off, after the earnings, they're gonna buy it up. It's had a good earnings. It's gonna be doing its thing real quick. So yeah, Amazon's gonna be back up to 250s before the end of the year. I'm pretty certain on that. Those are the main ones. I did have Dutch Bros on my radar because it also gapped up last week, sold off. I wouldn't say it's on my watch list, but if it can hold at $66 and start uptrending again, maybe we see $71 price point, once again. Let's see. Okay, what is the people saying? What stocks are you watching? Are you currently in any swings? Yes, I am. I'm in like four others. One is UPST, one is SoFi. I'd have to look. HIM's at $40 potentially. Yeah, HIM's could go to $40. Can we check UPST too? They beat earnings well, but down. Puts on circle, puts on CRWV, MVTS, UPST. I mean, causing down. Any analysis would be helpful. CRCL, Tesla, NU, CRCL. All right, so the usual stocks. I'm waiting for someone to bring like a stock where we're like, oh shoot, this is a great opportunity. Usually it's the same old stocks. It's Palantir, UPST, AMD, Affirm, Tesla, Apple. It's always the same stocks. Someone needs to bring one and we're just like, whoa, this is, yeah, this is amazing. One of us needs to just bring that. I don't know which one of you is going to be doing that, but it's always the same ones. UPST, Robinhood, HIMS, blah, 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 blah. Come on, let me see. SBET, yeah. You don't have to send it to me as a private message, by the way. Oklo earnings could be going. Yeah. Oklo could go, but I'm not really trying to play earnings. Okay, yeah, Rigetti, yeah. Let's look at Etsy. That's a good one. I haven't looked at that in a while. Etsy. Now this is a setup right here. This is a prime setup. So what happened with Etsy? Let's check the weekly. Yeah, we got that. So we got the run up for about a month straight. We got the healthy pullback, the huge red candle, and we got the consolidation before. Well, let me check if it was consolidation. It wasn't even consolidation. Wait, hold on. So weekly pullback, 28th, daily, 28th. Oh, it was a pullback to the moving average, pushed up, got rejected, sold off, gap back up. This is an interesting chart. Daily is looking nice. 4 hour, let me see what the 4 hour says. 4 hours looking cold. Yeah, this is break of, yep. Aha, this could be something. Etsy. Realistically, we're going to get back to this consolidation zone. It's around $62. So I'm going to draw it like this. I'm going to draw it like this. Why is it not letting me draw it? Okay, yeah. There we go. So let's pull that this way. So I'd say $62. Oh, no. Why is it making me draw these? Okay. I don't know why this is there. I'll delete that somehow. Either way, $62 is the price target, right? $62 for Etsy to the upside. I like it. I like the setup. It looks like a smooth, boring play. Those are the best ones, right? The smooth, boring upsides potentials. Yeah, that's a nice one. Good find. That was a good find. Coin, Novo, Bank of America, NU, UNH. UNH, that's a good one. So realistically, right now, UNH has been selling off. If you want to play this, if you want to trade this, if you want to do anything with this and get active, look at those, let's say 7, 8 months out. Let's say April, March next year. I think UNH is a good long-term play. I just think at these current levels, it's struggling. And I think people are just trying to do too much right now. This short-term calls of UNH is you're just going to get destroyed, A lot of people have tried that for the past 4 or 5 months, right, since May. A lot of people have tried this short-term UNH calls, trade the earnings run up, stuff like, the earnings recovery, this kind of stuff, that kind of stuff, and they're just getting smashed by it. So I'd say just leave the short-term UNH alone and really just focus on the longer term. It could be good for shares, sure. So SPY. We'll do another sell-off. We'll do another one of these sell-offs. We'll do another one of those from 640 to 621. That'd be so nice. Weekly chart though. Inside week. Big move is coming. We don't know which way. Let it come down a little bit. 621 again. Let it come down a bit. Let's see. All right, what's the chat saying? IBM, UPS. UPS, that's a good one. So UPS sold off heavily last week. You see the weekly candle? Crazy. Just took away all these gains. Now, daily time frame, you see it start to recover a little bit, but it could be looking like more blood. Now, if it does sell off, UPS 84.48 is a good base, a good level of support. But on the other hand, so we'll go with this right here, right? 84.28. Let's go with that as the base. If it does start uptrending, I'll wait because it's got so much recovery potential, right? Could jump up, 20% in the next few weeks, but let's just wait. I'll just wait for UPS. I do think longer. I think do they have a new? I don't know if it was CEO or someone, but either way, I want to see what UPS is doing. I might do a little bit more research into it, and then decide what I want to do from there. City, TTWO, Walmart, Bull, IBM is a good one. IBM. All right. So let's look at the weekly chart. Weekly just flipped bearish a few weeks ago. IBM puts could just work down to 232, a $10 drop. IBM looks good, for puts. Broke the lows on the daily time frame, broke below 200 moving average. Who knows where the bottom is, but 232 would be good for B. And then if we get all the way down to 215, sure, but 232 starting out will be a good level for puts. IBM is looking bearish. It's not telling me it's going to find a level of support anywhere in here. I don't see a bounce level anywhere from recent times. So yeah, puts would be the play for IBM. Have we covered RKLB? No, we haven't. I will see RKLB. Rocket Lab. So I mentioned earlier how I like this. We've had 3 red weeks in a row. Until that time, yeah, the very strong run from $16 up to $50. Very strong run. Let's see though. Let's see. I'd say just for now, just keep it on radar for the $50 call. But I just want to see. I want to see it hold out and not do something crazy like this, right? It gapped up or jumped. So we had a doji, we had a crazy run, sold off. Don't want to see that again, right? And if it does decide to start consolidating and form a little bit smaller bodies, then sure, I'll take the calls. But $50 would be the call I'll take. $50 would be the price target. I probably wouldn't overcomplicate it. Just take the profit the day it gaps up because it's not trying to gap up and continue, right? We jump up, we sell off. A lot of these pops are getting shorted, so you don't want to do too much with it. AV, AVGO. It's strong. It's strong across multiple time frames. But I feel like it's up there, right? Remember when we traded Roblox a couple weeks ago? It was already up there, and it ended up was it? It sold off, consolidated, then blew out. But yeah, AVGO is in a similar position. It's just been running up for months. Yeah, I'm cool on that for now. What else? I got a MP, APLD, PayPal. You guys love PayPal. Same old PayPal. All right. So what are we looking at for PayPal? Let's start with the weekly. Bearish, right? Below the moving averages. Bearish. Realistically, this is the level, this price point. $63, $64 to the downside. Daily is interesting, right? We could fall back to this level where we bounced before, but I think we go lower. Again, $64 to the downside. I think we go lower. PayPal. I don't really see Yeah, I don't really see a catalyst for it to start uptrending yet. They just had their earnings, they flunked it, tanked. I don't really see, they didn't really report anything great in their earnings a couple weeks ago. And yeah, I mean, they got to do better right now. So sorry about that, PayPal holders, but it's time to, really just watch out and then, trade the puts if you want to get in PayPal. All right, is that everyone got their stocks out? No other stocks to watch? You guys did good today. Oh, wait, there's one recommendation Circle. So, because it's having earnings, I don't really have too much thoughts on it. I would love to see Circle get back up to $200, $180, whatever. I'm not going to gamble it. I might trade the aftermath, but I don't know about Circle. Um, ARM. Could be something interesting for us. Forming a base right now, forming a base. I'll just wait for it. But if we do start pushing, $148 is the price target, just a $10 run. Just get us up back to here. Previous lows before we set sort of further, and then where we gap down to before, that's $148. Yeah, I like ARM once we do catch some heat, catch some fire. You're in a 10K. Wait, what? What other stocks do you guys want me to break down? Coin. Yeah, see, coin don't. I don't know. Coin don't really interest me like that at these levels. Coin don't. I don't know. Like, obviously because of crypto and stuff, coin is gonna run. There's no doubt about it. Right, coin is probably up right now. Yeah, up 4%. Right, but it just relies on crypto over the weekend, and every single week the same thing happens over and over again. Right, during the week crypto doesn't really go crazy. It does okay. Over the weekend, it starts going crazy. It starts pushing, and then Coinbase decides it wants to jump up 4% overnight. It wants to go from 310 to 321. MSTR decides it wants to jump up overnight over the weekend. Like wants to go from 390 to 406. Like, oh, these are bummy stocks, bro. Like, what's it called? MicroStrategy, Coin, just a bunch of idiots, man. Like, they just want to jump up overnight when it's the weekend. During the week, they just give us some crappy price action from 378 to 373, and then to 378, then to 382, back down to 380. And then over the weekend, they want to be jumping up 12, $15, bro. Waste of time, man. Waste of time. Who's going to be waiting Friday to be getting in swing trades for coin and MSTR, guessing if it goes up or down over the weekend? Bummy companies, man. MSTR is more bummy than Coinbase, but they're both of them are the Chuckle brothers, man. Dumb and Dumber. So yeah, these don't really excite me. Just Dumb and Dumber together. Two bums just talking to each other. That's what I would say. Yeah, it's up. It's up now over the weekend. Nobody can trade it over the weekend. Like I said, Dumb and Dumber, Chuckle Brothers, two fools, blind leading the blind, trash and garbage. None of them. These do not interest me at all. Like, you look at this. You were up at like on a real puts would have ate nice, right? That's like what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's like 10 red. No, that's like 14 red days straight. Cool. That's what I'm talking about. This is the puts, but none of us got the puts. Okay, cool. Then what do you want to do over the weekend? You want to be showing us the green, the 3% and stuff. Come on, like, yeah, that's just trash. Like Palantir can at least do something, consistently during the week. Coin just waits for the wrong moments every time. Coin is like a catch me if you can stock. Like you gotta wait like 5 years to get like 20% return. Yeah, I've no doubt it's going to open nice tomorrow and it's going to do its thing. It might run to 325 or whatever, right? Like 330, whatever it's going to do. But it's not really interesting me like that. About AI stocks, let me see AI. AI puts. Right now, the way it's looking, let's see what's going on after or overnight hours. AI. Yeah. Oh, what? How did you find this? Hey, why you didn't say anything, bro? This is oh shoot, yeah. I mean, I said puts, but I didn't really expect it to be down that bad. So where is it now? 17. Oh wait, let me turn on what's it called? After hours. Yeah, there we go. So that's where it is right now. Oh shoot, yeah, this could go down to 17. How did you know? Oh, okay, everyone, make sure you got AI on your radar. This could go down to 17. We haven't missed a drop. Bro, who was that who put it in there? iPhone 3. Who's iPhone 3? Yo, who's iPhone 3? I need to know because we need to ask you a question in the Discord. Someone figure out who iPhone 3 is. They've got some gems on. How do you know it dropped 17% or 19%? Who is this guy? Who is hey, find out who AI stocks is. Young Hoki. Bro, this guy gatekeeping. Damn. Wow. Yeah, AI. Well, good one. That's a good one. It's down after hours. 17. Jeez. Yeah, AI is bad. It's got puts all over it though. It already had puts all over it. Look at the daily. We got a consolidation. So we sold off, consolidated, got rejected by the moving averages, and then sold off crazy. 4 hours, bleak, bleak. It is looking dusty. Any other stocks? Oh, someone had asked UPST, right? Because we're in the swings. I'm in the swings for UPST. So sold off, formed a base, consolidated. I honestly don't know. Like I thought it was gonna come back, recover. It's recovered like at $2. We'll see. I needed to catch some heat to start the week. I'd love to see it back up at $76 in the next couple weeks. Realistically, I don't know if it will do that. It's been a bit slow, a slow mover. But from May at 43 all the way to July at 87, it did its thing. So let's just catch some heat. Let's just catch some fire and start uptrending again. Take us back to $76 this week. I like it though. I like it though. I'm cool for now. If it don't work out, it don't work out. I'm not too fast. We just cut up. We just cut. I think I'm down 18%. If it gets to 30%, I'm gonna cut it. It's fine. All right. It's cool. Damn, young Hokey though, you found that. You found that. Wow. Yeah, that was good. But AI. Bro said, what about AI? Yeah. All right. Any other stocks? Are we out here? SEZL. SEZL. Yeah, puts for that for sure. And then ACCO, I'd say coal. If you can break above, we can break above that it's $3.74 stock. I don't know. Looks like we got a double bottom coming off the daily though. Looks like with this low at 349 or whatever is where it likes to bounce many times. We'll see it. We'll see if we can push up. AMD at 171.63. Okay. A little bit of pullback. GE. Yeah, consistent, but it's up there. It's already up there, right? I'm sure weekly chart is up there. Yeah, weekly chart is up there. So, Tem, Kathy Woods. Yeah, it's kind of janky right now. Weekly isn't that great. Daily is just starting to flip. Maybe something there. Let's take it back up to 65, huh? Yeah, 65, 80s. That wouldn't be bad. So, yeah, Tem is not a bad one. Let's just mark this here. Just take it back up to this price point, right? Yeah, that's not bad. 65.80 for price point for Tem. And then, yeah. All right. All right, folks. We're exactly 1 hour in. Oh, someone just DM me NU. Not for me yet. Rejection of the moving average is likely to occur and weekly is bearish. So, yeah. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you enjoyed it, drop it in the Discord. I will upload the recording within the next couple hours. We will reconvene tomorrow. Thank you all for showing up and make sure to leave a like on the YouTube video when the time comes. Appreciate you.